Most days, I don't even know what I'm doing. Today is definitely one of those days. How are we gonna have hog jogger racing if you ain't wearing hog joggers?
It wasn't planned, okay?
Those are jeans, sir. We finally got the crank pulley off. Colby came over with some big beefy snap-on one and got that off. Now we're gonna try and pull the cam out. We're gonna use the good old dowel technique, hopefully, to not drop the lifters down. We totally could have cut that in half. This is the cam that was in there. This is the Brian Tooley cam. You can see that this valve, or this lobe, is like much, like the duration's way longer than this one. And it like holds the top for a long time. It's almost flat on the top. I don't know which cam I laid down where. So this one's a comp cam, which came out of that truck motor. That one's a comp cam, which came out of my Brian Tooley. Like the Brian Tooley is also made by Comp Cam. So I don't know which one is which. Now I gotta look up part numbers to figure out which one I laid where. I'm fairly confident this is the one that came out of the truck because it has regular studs in it, regular bolts, and the Brian Tooley one had ARP bolts in it. I think. So we had this homemade balancer bolt made, and what I mean by homemade was it was janky ass. It was this bolt welded to this bolt because we needed this threads. We were just putting the balancer on. This broke off in the crank, so we had to pull the balancer back off, just the hub part. And this was actually lodged in the crank like that deep. And we were worried for a little bit, but thankfully it did come out with a screwdriver. And it just comes out with a magnet after that. But I'm not taking that risk anymore, so that bolt can, I was gonna destroy it, but there's a lot of valuable stuff over there, so. It's going so, it's right there. There was a lot of valuable stuff over here. Well, I mainly looked at the transmission. I was like, yeah, I paid a lot of money for that. So now we gotta try and find the other bolt, which I have no idea where it is. Now remember, every $1 spent at boostedlifestyle.com get you one entry to win this welder. It'll come with a torch and everything you need to get started except for the gas, and it's a perfect hobbyist welder. It'll do everything from stainless to mild to aluminum, and it comes with a 220 plug, or you can use it with 110, so you can put it in any garage, big or small, as long as you have power. To make things sweeter, all my current channel members will get 5 entries, and if you become a new channel member, you'll get 5 entries as well. BoostedLifestyle.com, get yourself a hat or a t-shirt, get your chance to win this welder. We got our push rods in. They're a little bit on the short side compared to what I want them to be. They're 7.450s instead of 7.475s, which, you know what, for this season it'll be fine. I've only actually got like an hour in the garage here before I have to go back inside, so I'm just gonna like chill out and use this time just to peacefully put things together. So I'll see you guys in a bit. This is how it's sitting right now. You know, I just want to like be able to put my chair right here and sit down and just, you know, take my time and do stuff today. This is how far we ended up getting. We just have to put our exhaust back on. We got to put our water pump back on, radiator back in, and you know, it's not even that much work left to do. Like 2 more hours maybe. Hour if I'm really quick. Man, it do always be like that. Literally when you have like one thing left to do and then it breaks. Come on, everything else is back together. And honestly, I'm not even sure if we have another fitting to go there, so we might be foobarred. Okay, is it so dark in my garage because of the red walls? Because I have 14 friggin' LED lights in the roof. You'd think that would do something, but it seems like all my videos are just dark. Somebody want to come paint my walls for me, please? I painted them red one time. Worst decision I've ever made. We've only got a straight fitting, but we've got this guy right here, which is a JIC 90 adapter. And JIC 4 37 degrees will fit all your AN fittings. So if you're looking for a fitting and you're in a bind, JIC is also compatible with AN. Just use some adjustable hammers here, because that's how fancy we are. And it's the same brand of fitting, so we should be able to just reuse this side. Now all we gotta do is change the oil and put some coolant in it and see if it fires up. I get nervous every time that I go to fire up a new engine. Just like a little bit nervous. Just idling really, really high and I couldn't get it to idle down. I wonder if that idle air control valve sucks. Well, because I don't have a keyway in the balancer and I don't want to take the balancer off again, here's what I did. We have this piston stop which goes in cylinder 1. And essentially what you do is you roll over the engine clockwise until the piston hits here and you write down your number. In my case, it was 256. And then roll over counterclockwise and write down your number. In my case, it was 300, which is a 34-degree spread. Half of that is 17. We added that to our base number here. So 273 is our top dead center without having to pull the crank pulley off. So all I did was I etched a little mark at 273 down there on the crank pulley. And now when I go to check timing, I'll know that 273 is actually top dead center. Honestly, that just saves me from having to pull the balancer off and reposition it on there at 0, which I don't want to do because you remember the fiasco we had last time trying to get that thing off. Just trying to figure out this GoPro thing to see if it's going to work to show you guys what I'm going to do. I feel like peg leg right now, except mine's not friggin' super glued to a hat, but let's see if this works. I got a timing gun over here somewhere. We're gonna put this on number 1. And we actually have a power and ground on this side, so we've got 10 degrees already on it, advanced. Put 10 in there, set. Static timing has been set. Now when we start it, it should be good to go. Says we're out about 7 degrees. Whew, there's a lot of fuel in here. Go offline, ignition. We go custom, timing offset, 7 degrees. Well, my God, my eyes are burning right now. My timing light here clearly doesn't want to do the light portion of the thing that it's supposed to do, which is very unfortunate because I do believe we are 7 degrees out. We got us a new cheap ass timing light here. Let's rip that open. Go ahead and put some pump fuel back in it because there's still a bit of race gas in there. Now it's only a baby 27 liter tank, but you know, gets the job done. There's a towards the plug on this piece. Towards the plug. Okay. I have a feeling this isn't going to read off of 0 though. Man, my eyes are burning just because of fuel in here. But after checking, it appears we're 5 degrees out, so I had to take 5 degrees timing out of it, which would make sense while we burned up the old heads if I didn't check the static timing. Instead of being at 18 degrees of timing at like 30 pounds of boost, we were at 23 degrees of timing at 30 pounds of boost, which, I mean, it's probably a little hot for my little engine. So always check your static timing. What we really need to know, is it gonna get up on the 2-step? And that's why we gotta go test it now. Gonna go a little bit out of the way so we're not near anybody's houses. I'm not trying to make anybody mad. I feel bad even for just starting it in the garage because, you know, house is right here. But yeah, I try to keep it quiet as I can. Maybe I'll put a muffler on it, that'd be cool. Move wifey's car out of the way. Probably should put this back on, huh? Drives like a gem. A little bit dirty, but hell yeah. Not bad, not bad. Now the CO2 bottle is not hooked up, so it'll only make like 5 pounds of boost. Man, it drives so much better that the idle is lower. And it only took a little bit of tuning to get the idle right, but the reason it wasn't working last time is because we had that rip in the diaphragm on our old fuel pressure regulator and it was just dumping fuel in that idle, so we couldn't tune the idle at all. So we got it now. All right, start our data log, trans brake. This exact moment, the car is working so good. It's such a relief. This car has caused me so much grief over the last year. And there's only one more session of the year, I think, and we're gonna try and make it. Like this just revitalized my spirit in this car because I hated it for so long just because of the problems we were having. Here's what our test log looks like. So what I do is I click over here. This is 100% throttle. And what I do is I put the 0 point on it. So when you click on that, it'll ask you if you want to 0 point or whatever. And then that resets your time up here. So then we can go across and we're already, like that 3300 is already past where we would make it with the old car when it would stall out. And that is at 1.6 seconds. And it looks like 4.6 seconds to 4,200 RPM here and 6.6 pounds of boost. And I think once it starts bouncing off the rev limiter, it makes a little bit more boost. Yeah, so 5.1 seconds on the trans brake, 8.8 pounds of boost. You guys have no idea how much of a relief that is to have this thing finally sorted. Like I was emotionally down and out with this car just because I couldn't get it to work very good. That one pass I made at Rimby at like 5.4 when we burnt up the valves. Honestly, might have been my own fault, to be honest. But the fact that the camshaft didn't work at all with the combo, and it used to work, so we put the Brian Tooley Stage 3 camshaft back in there, and we put the new cylinder heads on there, and it loves this turbo so much. This is our True North Turbo 8896. The 96mm wheel is actually our new turbine design, and it outflows the old 103. So that's the reason we put that on there. I didn't want to make any more power than the old 88-103, but we gained a bunch of spool time by going to a 96 turbine that can actually outflow the 103. So even though dimensionally it's smaller, it's actually a more efficient turbo. If you want to get one of these, make sure just to hit me up on Instagram, KYL3Williams. I'll help you spec out a turbo for your build, no problem. True North turbos. Come check us out. We the best. For anybody who doesn't know the combo still, it's actually a 5.3 with a stock crank, forged pistons and rods. It now has TFS 220 heads, Brian Tooley Stage 3 camshaft, True North turbos 88mm turbo on it, and a Hughes 16-0 converter. So if you're looking to build a similar setup, this is basically the combo I ran last year, except for stock pistons and rods, and it went 814. So, and this can be your little cheat sheet right here if you want a setup that just works instead of experimenting with a bunch of different parts like I had to do. If you're not already entered for the welder giveaway, make sure to go over to boostedlifestyle.com. Every $1 spent gets you 1 entry. We'll include shipping because it is kind of expensive to get it across the border because it comes from the States. But the perfect hobbyist starter welder. It comes with a torch, it comes with the plug, it comes with everything that you're going to need to start except for gas. I'll put the cherry on top. All my current members, that little join button down below, all you current members, you'll each get 5 entries. And any new members that sign up, you'll each get 5 entries too. In case you don't want to get merch, but you still want to help out the channel, it's down there. That's the option. I have a feeling Gina and I are going to be at the Street Legal event Saturday and Sunday at Rad Torque Raceway coming up here. So that's going to be our final outing of the year because it usually snows mid-October in Canada. But one more outing with the car. We'll see if we can get a personal best time out of it and hopefully not break it before the end of the year because I really don't want to touch this car all winter. I just want to work on other things. I'm done with this. I want it just to work now. I'm at that point where I'm just like, I'm putting it in a jet boat. Not actually doing that. Peace easy. Get heavy.